The New York Yankees are trading for superstar Juan Soto from the San Diego Padres. And of course they are. I mean, it's the New York Yankees. They can get whoever they want. And this one is an especially impressive pickup considering how talented Juan Soto is. Not only does he have a batting title under his belt, but he's also a 4-time Silver Slugger winner. This guy is fantastic when it comes to hitting the baseball, something that 99% of the population could not do at all. So the fact that this guy's doing it at such a high and impressive level makes him all the more valuable. Now this trade marks the second time Juan Soto has been traded in the last 17 months. In fact, I remember how groundbreaking it was for him to get moved from Washington to San Diego. So much so that I had made a video about it those 17 months ago, and it had been one of the first videos that did well baseball-wise for this channel. But never in a million years did I suspect that I would make another video about Juan Soto being traded in less than 2 years, and yet here we are. And we'll get into why the San Diego Padres moved on from Juan Soto in 2 years. But for right now, I want to talk about the compensation they got in return from New York. Of course, they received another outfielder in Trent Grisham from the Padres in a 7-player deal. So the San Diego Padres got 6 guys in total, and we'll just run through the list of names real quick. You've got right-handers in Michael King, Johnny Brito, and Randy Vasquez. Then you got a starting pitching prospect in Drew Thorpe and a catcher in Kyle Higashioka. I don't know if I mispronounced that, but that is his name. Now the Yankees went into the offseason in search of 2 everyday left-handed hitting outfielders, and oh my god, you can't do better than Juan Soto. In fact, I didn't even realize he was on the market until he was traded Wednesday night. And by no means was this the only impressive move that the Yankees were able to pull off at this year's winter meeting, because one night before the Juan Soto news broke to the world, the Yankees also traded for another talented outfielder, this time with their neighboring rivals, the Boston Red Sox. Not only is it rare for the Yankees to trade with the Red Sox, but it is also very rare that these two teams trade talented players. In fact, the New York Yankees were able to acquire Alex Verdugo. Yes, the same Verdugo that was caught arguing with Yankees fans a year ago or whatever. Yeah, that guy is now coming to play in New York. So we'll see how their minds change now that he's on the team. Of course, if he struggles, they're going to keep their opinions. They are Yankees fans, okay? And in exchange for Alex Verdugo, the Boston Red Sox got 3 pitchers. You know, I don't know who those pitchers are or how talented they are, but it is very rare for prospects or any kind of players to kind of pan out in baseball especially. So we'll see if this trade comes to bite the Yankees in the butt. I doubt it though. Both of these moves look fantastic for the organization, and it really looks like they are trying to make a World Series push right now. And speaking of how good the New York Yankees look right now, let's take a little peek at the potential outfielder mix heading into the 2024 MLB season. First off, you've got really great returning guys in Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton, both who have been around the team for a few years now. Of course, Stanton came over from the Marlins a couple years back, but he's been with New York these past few seasons. And then you've got a homegrown talent in Aaron Judge, who's really developed in their system, and he's thriving. And honestly, he won an MVP, 2 years ago? Who's to say he can't do it again? Especially depending on what side of baseball, you know, Shohei Ohtani ends up. Because if he ends up on the National League side, then all of a sudden, you know, Aaron Judge could win another one. But that is besides the point. Now let's get to the rest of the outfielders, the newly acquired ones. Because of course you got a guy like Trent Grisham, who they picked up in the trade, and then the 2 big names in Alex Verdugo and Juan Soto. And of course you've got more outfielders than you can start at that point. And I think that is a great problem for this New York Yankees team to have, because obviously when one of them isn't starting one night, they can easily slide him in the designated hitter position. I know Juan Soto has done that a lot throughout his career, especially with how talented he is when it comes to hitting a baseball. I know Stanton has done that for a few games. You know, Aaron Judge, same thing. They all play the DH every once in a while. And when you've got a stacked outfield like this, it is very easy for the New York Yankees to do just that. But enough about the New York Yankees. Let's look at this from the San Diego Padres perspective. Of course, their general manager, AJ Preller, would have to speak about this because they just traded one of their best players who they had just acquired recently. And what he had to say was that it was very difficult to make a deal where you're trading someone of Juan Soto's talent. But if you're going to do so, you better make sure that you shore up a bunch of your needs. And that's what they were going for in this deal when they acquired those 5 separate players. They were trying to fill holes that they had throughout this team. And this team had one of the highest paid rosters throughout all of last season and missed the playoffs. So obviously, loading up on superstars doesn't work for everybody. And another contributing factor as to why the Padres decided to move on from Juan Soto was probably 33 million reasons, because that's how much money he was expected to get paid from the Padres, and after that, his contract would be up. So he was looking to be a free agent come next offseason, and the Padres don't think they are in the position to re-sign him or for him to even want to be re-signed by the Padres. So they decided to ship him off while he still has value. And of course, the Yankees acquired him for the exact opposite reason. They're making a title run, they can afford to spend the money, and they believe that they have a real chance at re-signing Juan Soto the same way they were able to re-sign, Aaron Judge. But anyway, now that, Juan Soto is off the books, they will be able to pay more of their players. I'm talking the Padres here. Fernando Tatis Jr. is due a big contract, and now he can afford to make that deal with the San Diego Padres since they have more money on the books. Of course, if you're a Padres fan, you're not loving what you're seeing here. But you have to understand the situation the Padres are currently in. Their payroll last season, $200 million. They had to cut corners somewhere, and unfortunately, that came at the cost of Juan Soto. And going into this offseason, they only have 2 pitchers from the rotation currently on the roster. I'm talking Joe Musgrove and Yu Darvish, 2 very talented names, but they are losing a lot in free agency. Blake Snell, Michael Wacha, Nick Martinez, Seth Lugo, they're all hitting free agency right now. They weren't the best at planning ahead. They could have planned this a little better. But, after trading Juan Soto, they were able to pick up a few solid pitchers. I'm talking Michael King, Brito, and Vasquez that can really, elevate some of that pressure off of them. They're not pressured to sign everybody because they've gotten a few replacements in this trade. So, of course, this may not be the best thing for the Padres, but it's also not the worst. Alright, that's about it. I think I've said everything I wanted to about this trade, and I wish I could have released this video sooner, but I was working on college football stuff, and of course the Heisman is right around the corner, so I had to go put that video out. Check it out, it's right here. But anyway, thanks for watching, I appreciate it. Catch y'all later. Deuces.